Welcome back to the Sports News Analysis YouTube channel, where I'm always breaking down the hot sports topics of the day. My name is Mike. If you follow my YouTube channel, you know yesterday I posted a video saying how I thought, since Percy Harvin wanted a trade, that I think it's best for the Vikings to accommodate his wants and trade him, and they did just that today. The Minnesota Vikings agreed to trade wide receiver Percy Harvin to the Seattle Seahawks for the Seahawks' first-round pick in this upcoming draft, their seventh-round pick in this draft, and a mid-round selection in the 2014 draft. So the Vikings move Percy Harvin, get 3 picks. Again, this year's first-round pick of the Seahawks, the 7th-round pick this year from Seattle, and also a mid-round selection in next year's draft. I think it was a good trade for both teams in this case. I think it was getting to the point in Minnesota where they obviously didn't want to give Harvin an extension. Okay, they didn't want to pay him the $10 million he'll probably command in his new contract with the Seahawks. He was getting to be a problem from an attitude standpoint, so they move on from him. And from a Seahawks standpoint, if there's one thing the Seahawks lacked in their offense last year, it was a serious down-the-field, speed-burning kind of threat. And they get maybe the best guy in the league that fits that mold in Percy Harvin. Russell Wilson, one of the strengths of his game is throwing the long ball, throwing the deep pass, and they get maybe the top guy available to fill that need here going forward. And also, obviously, Harvin is a dynamic punt returner as well. Now, you see the Seahawks make a move and trade for Percy Harvin. You also see their division rival, the 49ers, trade and get Anquan Boldin. Both teams upgrading their receiving core and sort of what has become an arms race in the NFC West. They might be 2 of the top 5 teams in football out there now. From a Vikings standpoint, rumors were they were in on Anquan Boldin after they made this Percy Harvin trade. I think it's good for the Vikings, though. They now have 2 first-round picks, pick number 23 and 25 in the first round. They'll probably address their wide receiver need with at least one of those picks, obviously. But again, it gives them another first-round pick. They can replenish that roster. I heard an interview with Adrian Peterson when he heard about the trade, the Percy Harvin trade. He said he felt like he was punched in the gut. Well, I understand, the immediate shock of getting rid of probably someone who was probably your second best offensive player. But I think if they're able to upgrade the interior of the offensive line and also able to draft some young receivers, I think in the long run, not having to pay Harvin the $10 million a year will make the Vikings a better team. From the Seahawks standpoint, this puts them, over the edge and makes them a legit Super Bowl contender. Although the Vikings made the playoffs, I think Vikings fans can agree, their roster needs some upgrading. And the picks and money, the picks they got and then the money they'll save not having to sign Harvin, I think in the long run was the right thing to do. Because in the end, the Vikings made that playoff push without Harvin this year. I'm not saying they're a better team without Harvin, but I'm saying they've proved they've already can play without him, and that money they save, again, and the picks they get, I think will benefit them in the end. So I think this is a win-win for both teams. Let me know what you guys think of this trade. Now where do you see the Vikings going in the draft now, other than receiver, which I think is obvious. They'll take a receiver with one of those first 2 picks. Do the Vikings now become a player for Mike Wallace? Because they tried to trade for Boldin, didn't get it done. Are they players for Mike Wallace now, sort of under the radar? Let me know what you guys think. Are they going to trade? Are they going to pick up another guy via free agency that I didn't talk about, besides maybe a potential Mike Wallace deal? Let me know what you guys think of this situation as a whole. Hit me up in the YouTube comments. Hit me up on Twitter at SNewsAnalysis. And guys, make sure to subscribe to my channel. As you'll see, I'm covering the NFL, wall-to-wall draft coverage, NFL free agency, which I'll be hitting hard tomorrow, obviously, when the 4 p.m. deadline comes. But I've done several videos on that as well, so be sure to check it out. Be sure to subscribe, and when I upload videos to my channel here, they'll get uploaded directly to your feed. Thanks again for listening, guys, and have a great night.